I'm staring at my husband's family across the mahogany dining table, and I can already feel the walls closing in. Not because I don't know what's coming, I know exactly what's coming. I've lived this moment before. It's just a formality, my mother-in-law says, her voice dripping with false sweetness. You're family now. We share everything. My sister-in-law, Melissa, examines her French manicure with practiced disinterest, but I can see the gleam in her eye. She's 23, unemployed, and has the spending habits of a Monaco princess. In my first life, I was too naive to see the trap. I don't think that's necessary, I say carefully. My husband, David, won't meet my eyes. Coward. My credit cards are for my personal expenses. Personal? My mother-in-law's voice sharpens. You married into this family. What's yours is ours. Or did David marry someone selfish? There it is. The knife slipped between my ribs with surgical precision. In my first life, this was the moment I crumbled. The moment I logged into my credit card accounts and added Melissa as an authorized user on all 5 of my cards. Cards I'd spent years building credit to obtain, cards with limits totaling $150,000. That version of me died 3 years later, homeless and broken, my credit destroyed, my marriage dissolved, my reputation in ruins. Melissa had maxed out every single card within 6 months, buying designer handbags and bankrolling her drug dealer boyfriend's business ventures. When I'd begged her to stop, she'd laughed. When I'd begged David to intervene, he'd told me I was being dramatic. When I'd finally worked up the courage to remove her as an authorized user, his family had descended on me like vultures, calling me bitter, jealous, and vindictive. They'd forced me to keep her on the accounts. Every single one. I'd lost my job trying to juggle the debt, lost my apartment, lost my dignity. The last thing I remember from that life is standing on a bridge in the Pas. Rain, credit card statements floating in the water below, wondering if anyone would even notice I was gone. Then I woke up 3 months after my wedding, 6 months before Melissa's spending spree would begin. A second chance. A gift from whatever cosmic force decided I'd suffered enough. I'll do it, I say now, and watch Melissa's eyes light up. But I need a few days to contact the credit card companies. They have security protocols. A few days? My mother-in-law frowns. Identity theft prevention, I explain smoothly. I have to verify that I'm authorizing the addition myself, not someone who stole my information. It's standard procedure. David finally speaks. That sounds reasonable, Mom. Melissa shrugs. Whatever, I'm not in a rush. The lie sits comfortably on her tongue. She's already planning her shopping spree, mentally compiling her wish list. I know because in my first life, she'd shown me the Pinterest board later, laughing about how she'd been manifesting this moment. I excuse myself early, claiming a headache. David doesn't follow me home. He stays for dessert with his family, like he always does, like he always will. Our marriage is a beautiful facade hiding absolutely nothing of substance. In my car, I pull out my phone and open my banking app. One by one, I freeze all 5 credit cards. The limits remain $30,000 on my Platinum, $25,000 on my Reserve, $35,000 on my Premium, $40,000 on my Elite, and $20,000 on my business card. Frozen solid. No new charges can be processed. But here's what Melissa doesn't know, what none of them know. Freezing a card doesn't prevent an authorized user from being added to the account. The credit card companies don't care if the card is frozen. They'll happily send Melissa her own cards with her name embossed in silver. They'll mail them to whatever address she requests. And when she tries to use them, when she swipes that plastic at Chanel or Dior or wherever her vapid heart desires, the balque transaction will decline. And decline, and decline, and decline. But that's not the beautiful part. The beautiful part is what I'm going to do before she figures out the cards are frozen. 3 days later, I send Melissa a text. All set. Your card should arrive in 5-7 business days. Let me know if you need the account numbers for online shopping in the meantime. So excited to share this with my favorite sister-in-law. She responds in seconds. OMG, yes! Send me the reserve card info. I want to order some things. I send her the account number, expiration date, and CVV for my reserve card. The one that's frozen. The one that won't process a single charge. Thank you, she writes back. You're the best. I smile at my phone. In my first life, that card was maxed out within 48 hours. She'd bought a $12,000 Hermes bag, a $8,000 Cartier bracelet, and spent the remaining $5,000 on bottle service at clubs, posting every purchase to Instagram with the hashtag blessed life. This time, I'm counting on exactly that pattern. I wait. 6 hours later, my phone pings with a fraud alert from my credit card company. Someone attempted to charge 11 $11 at the Hermes boutique on Fifth Avenue. Transaction declined, card frozen. I call the fraud department immediately. Yes, hi, I'd like to report attempted fraud on my account. Someone I don't know tried to make a large purchase with my card information. The representative is sympathetic and efficient. I see the attempt here, ma'am. The charge was declined because your card is frozen. That freeze actually saved you. Do you know how someone might have obtained your card information? I have no idea, Authenticinias, I say, injecting just the right amount of distress into my voice. This is terrifying. What if they try again? We'll issue you a new card number immediately. The old number will be invalidated. We're also going to flag this attempted transaction and report it to our fraud investigation team. Thank you so much, I breathe. You've been so helpful. New card number, Melissa's card, when it arrives, will be useless. But she doesn't know that yet. I text her that evening, hey, my credit card company called about a fraud alert. Did you try to buy something today? Her response comes after a suspicious pause. No, why? Someone tried to use my reserve card at Hermes. So weird. I'm getting a new card number issued. I'll send you the new info when it arrives. K? One word, clipped, irritated. She knows I know, but she can't admit it without admitting she was planning to buy a designer bag that costs more than my monthly rent. Over the next week, I document everything. I create a spreadsheet tracking every interaction with my mother-in-law, every family meeting where they pressure me about money, every request for loans that are never repaid. I screenshot text messages, I save voicemails. I'm building a case, brick by brick. Melissa's physical cards arrive. She Snapchats the unboxing, 5 credit cards with her name on them, fanned out like a royal flush. Living my best life, she captions the photo. I screenshot that too. She tries to use the platinum card first. Nordstrom, $3,000 in designer dresses. Declined. She tries the elite card at Sephora. Declined. The premium card at Whole Foods. Declined. The business card at a boutique hotel in the Hamptons. Declined. My phone explodes with texts. Why aren't the cards working? Did you forget to activate them or something? This is so embarrassing. I'm literally at checkout. I let her panic for 3 hours before responding. Oh no, let me call the credit card companies. I don't call anyone. I pour myself a glass of wine and watch reality TV while Melissa has a meltdown across town. That night, David comes home late. He doesn't kiss me hello. My mom called. She said you're making Melissa's cards not work. I don't control the credit card companies, I say mildly. There might be an issue with how they were set up. I'll look into it. She's really upset, Claire. I'm sure she is. I don't look up from my laptop. It's frustrating when things don't work. Can you fix it? I'll try. He hovers for a moment, uncomfortable, then retreats to the bedroom. I hear the TV click on. Football, always football. I go back to my research. Because freezing the cards was just step 1. Step 2 is so much better. I unfreeze one card. Just one. The business card with the $20,000 limit. I call the credit card company and, in my sweetest voice, express my concerns about the authorized user I was forced to add. I'm worried she might misuse the account, I confide to the representative. But my husband's family insisted. Is there any way to monitor her purchases? I just want to make sure everything stays appropriate for a business card. The representative is understanding. Absolutely. We can set up transaction alerts that notify you of any purchase made by the authorized user. You'll get a text and email in real time. That would be perfect, I say. And is there a way to see how the card is being used for business versus personal expenses? You can categorize transactions in your online account. We also provide detailed monthly statements showing the merchant category code for each purchase. Wonderful. One more question. If the authorized user makes purchases that aren't business related, is that considered fraud? There's a pause. If the card is designated as a business credit card and the authorized user knowingly makes personal purchases on it, that could be considered misuse of the account. Depending on the circumstances and amounts involved, it could potentially be investigated as fraud. Good to know, I say. Thank you so much. I unfreeze the business card and text Melissa. Great news, I figured out the problem. It was a technical glitch with the authorized user setup. Everything should work now. I unfroze all the cards. This is a lie. I've unfrozen one card, but she won't check them all before she tries again. She'll go for the first one that works. 30 minutes later, my phone pings. Melissa has charged $4,500 at Chanel. The transaction went through. I take a screenshot of the alert, I log into my business credit card account and look at the merchant category code, luxury goods retail, personal purchase, not business related. Over the next 2 weeks, Melissa goes wild. $3,200 at Gucci, $2,800 at Louis Vuitton, $100 at a spa in Tribeca, $600 at a Michelin-starred restaurant, $800 at an exclusive nightclub. Every single purchase is flagged as personal, non-business related. She burns through $15,000 in 14 days. I document everything, every transaction, every receipt, every Instagram post showing off her new bags, her new shoes, her sponsored dinner. It's not sponsored, I paid for it. I compile it all into a folder labeled Evidence. When she hits $18,000, I make my move. I call my credits, it's card company's fraud department. I need to report fraudulent use of my business credit card by an authorized user, I say. My voice is shaking, not with fear, but with barely suppressed rage and satisfaction. She's made thousands of dollars in personal purchases on an account designated for business use only. I have documentation of every transaction. The fraud investigator is immediately interested. Can you send us that documentation? Yes, I have screenshots, merchant category codes, and social media posts proving these were personal purchases. I also have text messages where she acknowledges using the card for personal expenses. This is a small lie. She hasn't acknowledged it in writing, but she will. We'll open an investigation immediately, the investigator says. This is a serious matter. Misuse of a business credit card can result in criminal charges depending on the amount and intent. I understand, I say. I just want to do the right thing. I was pressured into adding her as an authorized user, and I feel like I've been taken advantage of. We'll be in touch within 48 hours. In the meantime, we're freezing the card and flagging all of the authorized users' transactions for review. I hang up and exhale slowly. The trap is set. Now I just need Melissa to walk into it. I text her, hey, I got a weird call from my credit card company about the business card. They said there were some unusual charges. Did you use it recently? Yeah, why? What did you buy? Just some stuff. Why are you interrogating me? The credit card company is asking because it's a business card. Did you use it for business expenses? There's a long pause. Then, you gave me the card? Don't make this a big deal. Melissa, I need to know what you bought. This is serious. God, you're so annoying. I bought clothes and went to dinner. So what? Screenshot. Perfect. That's not what business cards are for. The credit card company is investigating. Investigating? For what? Fraud. My phone rings immediately. It's Melissa. I don't answer. She calls again and again. 6 calls in a row, each one more desperate than the last. Then David calls. I answer. What the hell is going on? Wakaya? He demands. Bide stays. Melissa is freaking out. She says you're accusing her of fraud. I'm not accusing her of anything, I say calmly. The credit card company launched their own investigation when they noticed unusual spending patterns on my business account. Melissa admitted to me in writing that she used the card for personal purchases. That's misuse of a business credit card. You're really going to do this? She's my sister. And I'm your wife. The wife you pressured into adding her to my accounts against my better judgment. It was just supposed to help her out. Help her out? I laugh and it sounds bitter even to my own ears. David, she spent $18,000 in 2 weeks on handbags and bottle service. That's not helping out. That's robbery. You're overreacting. Just tell the credit card company it was a misunderstanding. No. Claire, no. I repeat. I gave her access because your family demanded it. She abused that access. Now she gets to face the consequences. My mother's going to lose her mind. Then maybe your mother should have raised a daughter who doesn't commit fraud. I hang up. My hands are trembling, but not with fear, with power, with the intoxicating rush of finally standing up for myself. Within an hour, my mother-in-law calls. I let it go to voicemail. She calls again. Voicemail. She sends a text. We need to talk about Melissa's situation. This has gone too far. I don't respond. David comes home and slams the door. Fix this. No. My family is furious. They should be furious at Melissa. You had no right to report her. I had every right. It's my credit card, my name on the account, my credit score that gets destroyed if the debt isn't paid. And newsflash, David, I'm not paying it. His face goes white. What? I'm disputing every single charge she made as fraudulent. The credit card company will reverse them, and Melissa will be held responsible for the debt. If she doesn't pay, they'll pursue legal action. You can't do that. I already did. He stares at me like I'm a stranger. Good. The Claire he married was weak, compliant, desperate to be accepted by his family. That Claire died on a bridge in the rain. This Claire knows exactly who she is. You've changed, he says finally. Yes, I agree. I have. The credit card company's investigation moves faster than I expected. Within a week, I receive a formal letter confirming that the charges made by the authorized user have been classified as fraudulent misuse of a business account. All $18,000 is being reversed. Melissa is being held liable for the debt and has been reported to the credit bureaus. Her credit score, whatever pitiful score a chronically unemployed 23-year-old has, is now in shambles. But that's not even the best part. The best part is that the credit card company has also flagged her for fraud in their internal system. She'll never be approved for a credit card again. Not from this company. And since they share information with other creditors, probably not from anyone else either. David's family demands a meeting. A mediation, his mother calls it. I agree, but on my terms. We meet at a coffee shop, not their house. Neutral territory. My mother-in-law arrives first, her face tight with barely contained rage. Melissa comes in behind her, red-eyed and puffy-faced, clutching a Chanel bag that cost $4,500 of my money. David sits beside me, silent and useless. This is unacceptable, my mother-in-law begins. You've humiliated this family. I've humiliated the family? I raise my eyebrows. Your daughter committed credit card fraud. It's not fraud if you gave her permission. I gave her permission to use the card for business expenses. She used it for personal purchases. That's fraud. The credit card company agrees. The law agrees. Melissa finally speaks, her voice small and whiny. I didn't know it was a business card. You didn't ask, I reply. You just assumed you could spend whatever you wanted because you've never faced consequences in your life. How dare you? My mother-in-law starts. No, I cut her off. How dare you? You forced me to add her to my accounts. You manipulated me, guilt-tripped me, made me feel like I was a bad wife and a bad daughter-in-law for wanting to protect my own financial security. And for what? So your unemployed daughter could buy designer bags and party in the Hamptons? She needed help. Help isn't $18,000 in luxury goods. Help would be encouraging her to get a job, to build her own credit, to take responsibility for her own life. Instead, you enabled her, and when she got caught, you blamed me. My mother-in-law's face is purple. If you don't drop this investigation and pay off her debt, you're out of this family. I stand up, gathering my purse. Good. I never wanted to be in this family anyway. David grabs my arm. Claire, wait. I shake him off. No, I'm done waiting. I'm done being the doormat you all wipe your feet on. I'm done sacrificing my financial future for people who don't even like me. I like you, Melissa sobs. I thought we were friends. Friends don't steal from each other, Melissa. I walk out of the coffee shop and don't look back. David files for divorce 3 weeks later. His family has convinced him I'm the villain in this story. I don't fight it. I don't want to be married to a man who chose his fraud-committing sister over his wife. The divorce is quick and clean. We have a prenup, something his family insisted on, ironically, that keeps our finances separate. He gets nothing from me. I get my freedom. Melissa, meanwhile, is dealing with the consequences of her actions. The $18,000 debt has been sent to collections. She's being sued by the credit card company. Her credit score is in the 400s. She can't get approved for an apartment lease, a car loan, or even a cell phone plan. She's had to move back in with her parents. My mother-in-law tries to pay off the debt to make this go away, but the credit card company refuses. Fraud charges don't disappear just because someone else pays the bill. Melissa's credit report will show the collections account, the lawsuit, and the fraud flag for the next 7 years. I, on the other hand, am thriving. My credit score actually went up after the fraudulent charges were removed. I got a promotion at work. I'd been too stressed and distracted in my first life to perform well, but this time, with clarity and purpose, I'm excelling. I moved into a beautiful apartment downtown, all my own, no husband or in-laws to answer to. I'm free. 6 months after the divorce is finalized, I'm at my favorite coffee shop when I see her. Melissa. She's at the counter trying to pay for a latte with a debit card that keeps declining. The barista looks uncomfortable. Melissa's face is red with embarrassment. I could walk away. I could pretend I don't see her. But I don't. I walk up to the counter. I'll pay for her drink, I tell the barista, handing over my credit card. One of the 5 cards that Melissa once had access to. One of the cards she tried to destroy me with. The barista processes the payment. Melissa stares at me, her eyes wide. You didn't have to do that, she mumbles. I know, I say. But I wanted to. She swallows hard. I'm sorry for everything. I know you are, I say. Now you get to live with it. I take my coffee and leave her standing there, holding a $5 latte paid for by the woman she tried to ruin. It's a small kindness, a reminder that I'm not cruel, not vindictive, not the villain they painted me as. I'm just someone who learned to protect herself. A year after my rebirth, I'm sitting in my apartment looking at my credit report. Perfect score, not a single blemish. All the cards are paid off. My savings account is healthy. My career is soaring. I think about the woman I was in my first life, broken, homeless, standing on that bridge. She would be so proud of me. My phone buzzes. It's a text from an unknown number. I almost delete it, but curiosity wins. This is David. I wanted to reach out. I've been thinking a lot about everything that happened. You were right. About Melissa, about my family, about me. I'm sorry. I stare at the message for a long moment. In my first life, this apology would have meant everything to me. I would have forgiven him immediately, taken him back, believed that people could change, but I'm not that woman anymore. I block the number and pour myself a glass of wine. Because here's what I learned. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. And when the universe gives you a second chance, don't waste it. On people who didn't value you the first time around. I was forced to add Melissa as an authorized user. I was bullied, manipulated, and gaslit into giving her access to my financial life. They thought they could control me. They thought I would just accept it. They were wrong. After my rebirth, I knew exactly what she would try to do. So I froze the cards. I documented everything. I set the trap and let her walk right into it. And when she maxed out the one card I'd unfrozen, the business card she had no right to use for personal purchases, I watched her entire world crumble. Did I feel guilty? Maybe for a moment. But then I remembered standing on that bridge, credit card statements floating in the water, my life destroyed by her greed and my own inability to say no. I don't feel guilty anymore. I feel free. 2 years after my rebirth, I'm at a networking event for women in finance when I overhear a conversation. A young woman, maybe 25, is talking to her friend. My boyfriend's sister keeps asking to borrow money, she says. His whole family is pressuring me to help her out, but I just have this feeling that if I do, I'll never see that money again. Her friend nods sympathetically. Trust your gut. I don't usually insert myself into strangers' conversations, but something about this one pulls at me. I walk over, drink in hand. Excuse me, I say. I couldn't help but overhear. Can I give you some unsolicited advice? The young woman looks wary but curious. Sure. Don't lend the money. Don't co-sign a loan. Don't add her to your credit cards. Don't let them make you feel guilty for protecting yourself. I pause, meeting her eyes. The people who love you won't ask you to set yourself on fire to keep them warm. She blinks, processing this. But his family will think I'm selfish. Let them, I say. Their opinion of you isn't worth your financial security. Trust me, I learned this the hard way. What happened? Her friend asks. I smile, but it's not a happy smile. It's the smile of someone who's been through hell and came out the other side. I was forced to make someone an authorized user on my credit cards. She maxed them all out and ruined my life. Oh my God, the young woman breathes. What did you do? I got a second chance, I say simply. And the second time around, I was smarter. I froze the cards before she could use them. When she tried, she exposed herself, lost everything, and I got my life back. The young woman nods slowly. I'm not going to lend her the money. Good, I say. Don't ever let anyone bully you into financial decisions you're not comfortable with. Your money, your choice. Always. I walk away feeling lighter. Maybe I can't save everyone. Maybe I can't go back and warn my first life self. But I can share my story. I can be the voice that tells other women, it's okay to say no. It's okay to protect yourself. It's okay to choose you. 3 years after my rebirth, I'm at my cousin's wedding when I see them. David and Melissa. They're sitting at a table in the back, looking uncomfortable and out of place. David has gained weight. His hairline has receded. He looks older than his 32 years. Melissa is wearing a dress that's too tight and shoes that are scuffed. No designer bags in sight. I'm in a custom gown, my hair professionally styled, my date a successful architect I met through work. I look happy because I'm happy. David sees me first. His face goes pale. Melissa notices his reaction and follows his gaze. When her eyes land on me, she looks away quickly. I could be petty. I could walk over and flaunt my success. But I don't need to. My happiness speaks for itself. Instead, I focus on my date, on the beautiful ceremony, on celebrating my cousin's love. I don't spare David and Melissa another thought. Later, at the reception, my cousin pulls me aside. I didn't know David would be here, she says apologetically. His mom is friends with my mom. I couldn't not invite them. It's okay, I assure her. Really, I'm over it. And I am. Completely. Because they have no power over me anymore. They can't hurt me. They can't manipulate me. They're just people I used to know. My cousin hugs me. You look incredible, by the way. Happier than I've ever seen you. I am, I say honestly. I really, really am. 5 years after my rebirth, I'm promoted to senior vice president at my company. I'm making more money than I ever dreamed possible in my first life. I've traveled to 12 countries. I've bought a real house with a garden and a 2-car garage. I've built a life I'm proud of. I still have all 5 credit cards. They're still in my name only. No authorized users, no exceptions. Sometimes late at night, I think about the bridge, about the woman I was in that first life, about how close I came to giving up, and I think about how grateful I am for my second chance. People ask me sometimes how I built my success. How I went from a struggling newlywed to a senior executive in 5 years. I usually give them the corporate answer: hard work, dedication, strategic networking. But the real answer is simpler and more complicated. I learned to value myself. I learned that no relationship is worth sacrificing your self respect. I learned that family isn't defined by blood or marriage. It's defined by who shows up for you, who supports you, who celebrates your wins and helps you through your losses. David's family wasn't my family. They were people who saw me as a resource to be exploited. And when I refused to be exploited, they discarded me. I let them. And in doing so, I found myself. 7 years after my rebirth, I get a Facebook message from my former mother-in-law. I haven't spoken to her since the divorce. Claire, I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to reach out because I've been doing a lot of reflection lately. I was wrong about how we treated you, Melissa. Was wrong. David was wrong. We took advantage of your kindness and your desire to be part of our family. I'm sorry. I know it's too late and I don't expect forgiveness, but I wanted you to know that I regret how things ended. I read the message 3 times. In my first life, I would have cried. I would have called her immediately. I would have said, "It's okay, I forgive you, let's move past this." In this life, I simply delete the message. Because some apologies are too little, too late. Some bridges, once burned, should stay burned. She had her chance to be kind, to be fair, to treat me like family. She chose differently. And now she gets to live with that choice the same way Melissa lives with hers. I don't owe her forgiveness. I don't owe her closure. I don't owe her anything. I owe myself peace. And peace means letting go of people who only value you when you're useful to them. 10 years after my rebirth, I'm at a charity gala when I run into Melissa. She's working there, serving drinks, actually. She's 33 now, still living with her parents, still dealing with the financial consequences of her choices a decade ago. She sees me and her hand shakes, spilling champagne onto her tray. "Hi, Melissa," I say calmly. "Claire," her voice is barely a whisper. "You look amazing." "Thank you." I'm in a designer gown, a real one I paid for myself with money I earned. "How have you been?" She laughs, but it's hollow. "You know, surviving." "I heard you're working now, that's good." "Yeah, it's not glamorous, but it pays the bills." She pauses. "I never thanked you." This surprises me. Thanked me. For teaching me a lesson I needed to learn. I was a spoiled brat. I thought the world owed me something. I thought I could just take what I wanted without consequences. She meets my eyes. "You showed me I was wrong." I don't know what to say to that. I hadn't expected contrition. I hadn't expected growth. "I'm glad you learned something," I say finally. "I hope you're in a better place now." "I'm getting there," she says. "Slowly, but I'm getting there." I nod and move on. I don't feel triumph. I don't feel vindication. I just feel neutral. She's a person who made mistakes and is trying to do better. That's all any of us can do. But I don't forgive her. I don't forget. I just move forward. Because that's what survivors do. 15 years after my rebirth, I'm sitting in my office, my corner office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, when my assistant buzzes me. "There's a woman here to see you. She says it's personal." I'm not expecting anyone. Did she give a name? Melissa Anderson. I haven't heard that name in years. David's last name. She must have gotten married at some point, reclaimed some version of a normal life. "Send her in," I say, curious. Melissa walks in and she looks different. Older, obviously, but also more confident. More put together. She's wearing a simple suit, carrying a worn briefcase. "Thank you for seeing me," she says. "I wasn't sure you would." "I almost didn't," I admit. "What can I do for you?" She takes a breath. "I'm a financial counselor now. I work with young adults who are struggling with debt and credit issues. People like I was." She pauses. I wanted to tell you that what you did to me, what happened with the credit cards, it changed my life. I raise an eyebrow and go on. I hit rock bottom. The collections, the lawsuit, the credit freeze. I couldn't rent an apartment. Couldn't get a car, couldn't do anything. I was forced to face what I'd done, who I'd been. And it was awful, but it was necessary. She pulls out a folder and hands it to me. I've been debt-free for 8 years. I rebuilt my credit, I got certifications in financial planning, and now I help other people avoid the mistakes I made. I open the folder. Inside are testimonials from clients, certificates, even a news article about her work with underprivileged youth. This is impressive, I say honestly. I wanted you to know that I didn't waste it. The lesson, I mean. I didn't waste the lesson you taught me. Her eyes are shining with tears. I was so angry at you for years, but you were right. I needed consequences. I needed to fall. And then I needed to learn how to get back up. I close the folder and hand it back to her. I'm glad you found your way. I also wanted to apologize. Really apologize. Not because I want something from you, but because you deserve to hear it. I was selfish, I was entitled, I hurt you, and I'm sorry. I look at her, really look at her. This isn't the spoiled, vapid girl who maxed out my credit cards. This is a woman who's done the work, who's taken responsibility, who's trying to make amends. I accept your apology, I say. And I'm proud of you for turning your life around. She smiles, and it's genuine. Thank you, that means more than you know. She stands to leave, then pauses. Can I ask you something? Sure. Do you think you would have done what you did if you'd known how things would turn out? If you'd known I would eventually get my life together? I consider this. In my first life, I didn't protect myself, and it destroyed me. In this life, I did, and it saved me. But it also inadvertently saved Melissa by forcing her to face consequences. Yes, I say finally, Pahed, because I needed to save myself. What you did with the experience after that was up to you. I'm glad you chose growth. But my job was never to fix you, it was to protect me. She nods slowly. That's fair. That's more than fair. After she leaves, I sit in my office for a long time thinking. In my first life, I was a victim. In this life, I refuse to be. And somehow, in refusing to be a victim, I inadvertently gave Melissa the chance to become something better than she was. Maybe that's the real revenge, not destroying someone, but forcing them to save by themselves. Or maybe I'm overthinking it. Either way, I'm at peace. 20 years after my rebirth, I'm retiring early. I'm only 52, but I've built enough wealth to live comfortably for the rest of my life. I'm selling my company shares, buying a villa in Tuscany, and planning to write a book. The book is about my experience, about the rebirth, about the credit cards and the betrayal and the revenge. But it's also about forgiveness and growth and learning to value yourself enough to walk away from toxic people. I've changed all the names, of course, added enough details and removed others to make it fiction. But the heart of the story is true. The night before I leave for Italy, I get an email. It's from David. Claire, I heard you're retiring and moving abroad. I wanted to reach out one last time before you go. I never apologized properly for what happened. For choosing my family over you, for not standing up for you when I should have. I've thought about it every day. For 20 years, you deserved better. I hope Italy brings you everything you're looking for. David. I read the email once, then I delete it. Some apologies don't deserve a response. I board the plane to Italy the next day. As we take off, I look down at the city below, the city where I was broken and where I rebuilt myself, where I died and was reborn, where I learned that the only person responsible for saving you is you. I think about the credit cards, the ones Melissa tried to max out, the ones I froze. In a way, those cards were a metaphor for my whole life. I'd given other people access to my resources, my energy, my love, and they'd maxed me out, left me depleted and broken. After my rebirth, I froze the accounts. I took back control. I decided who got access to me and under what terms. And when they tried to take advantage again, I was ready. They forced me to list her as an authorized user. But after my rebirth, I froze the cards. And when she tried to max them out anyway, she destroyed herself instead of me. Perfect. Poetic. Justice. The plane levels out and I order a glass of champagne. I raise it in a silent toast. To second chances. To frozen credit cards. To the woman I was and the woman I became. To revenge served cold. And to the beautiful, peaceful life that comes after you stop letting people treat you like an ATM. Below me, the city fades into clouds. I'm leaving it all behind, the pain, the betrayal, the past. I'm flying towards something new, something better, something mine. And this time, no one can take it from me. Because this time, I know my worth, and I'll never, ever add someone as an authorized user again.